bonjour, and all that. Mange
We.
tout.
Or, like, I can't get Menage a Trois out of my head, but I don't want to offer you that.
Well, I mean, there's an obvious question to that because that's two of us. Who's the third?
Was either probably a werewolf or probably a vampire.
Oh,
Those
God.
are our choices this week.
That would be painful.
Could you imagine if that's what this podcast just became? Just being like, which show would you rather have a threesome with?
Oh dear. I mean, that would make any sort of children's shows we've ever done quite difficult.
Yeah. Would you still love Midnight Mass if you had to fuck it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd give that a right good into, just as a well done.
But what if it takes the appearance of your least favourite character? Mrs. Racist.
Well, I thought you said least favourite.
Fair.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Unfortunately for everybody listening, we aren't gonna have a threesome down the microphone. So I'm very sorry that you're missing out on that one. But what we have got is a couple of bangers.
Yeah. Spoilers, we liked this week.
Yay! We did it. We found some good TV. It's only taken us 222 pilots watched to do it. We finally found it.
I really wish you'd stop implying that this is the only good pair of shows that we've found. Because contrary to popular belief, you've watched some more of other shows, but not
Yes, some
enough.
more, but yeah. No, well, yeah. I've only done another episode and a bit of Euphoria.
Well, I have now finished season 1, and I big enjoyed.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because when I'm not reading the Brandon Sanderson books that you've set me as homework, with Euphoria being a show that I don't think Lisa would enjoy very much at all, it's very difficult to find the time to actually watch it. So,
I think it
do.
would be a very good nursery rhyme. But yes, where
I'm
would you
trying
like
to
to
rhyme
begin?
baby goat with overdose, and it just isn't working. Yeah, it took me that long to think of it. All right, you could hear the fucking cogs going in my brain.
I can always hear the cogs going in your brain.
Where are we?
It just sounds so sad.
Where are we starting? Which one of these two are we starting with?
I don't know. Should we start east and work back?
Okay. Kingdom.
Yes. That took you a smidge longer than I thought it would.
It's only because I was like, well, I suppose there's
Depends which way you go.
Yeah, and a little bit of France is a bit east from us, but anyway, yeah, Kingdom. Because I texted you before you watched it and said, try not to look up anything about it, try not to read anything about it, just go and watch it. What?
And I didn't.
Okay. So, what did you did it kind of work? Was there a part of it that was hidden and then it was slowly revealed that you're like, oh shit, it's a zombie show?
I think almost immediately. Well, no. So they hid the zombie thing quite well.
Yeah.
But you very quickly learn that it's going to be a monster thing. Because they, I think, sort of try to make you go the werewolf route.
Oh, that's okay. No, I see why. Yeah, I see why you came to that conclusion. Because it's like, okay, the king doesn't want to be seen, and there's something monstrous happened to the king.
Yeah, and I don't know, because it sort of felt like almost they were trying to just sort of wait out the curse, and then my brain was like, he's not always gonna. It's just a night. He's not going to have disappeared for 10 days. And also, smallpox is a thing.
Yeah. Oh, what, so did you discount that it could be something kind of monstrous, or were you still like, oh?
I
well,
thought smallpox was a cover-up for
Right.
him being a werewolf.
right, got you. So you're
And
nearly
then-
there.
Yeah, if werewolves and zombies are interchangeable, which they are.
Hey, you take that back.
I mean, are you telling me that if you had the power to swap all the zombies or not zombies in The Walking Dead for werewolves,
Oh
you
yeah,
wouldn't?
no, that it'd be a lot shorter that show and comic book series. But yeah, that would. Be
How
quite
long do you
cool.
think How long do you think Carl would survive? Because
Uh,
that's all I really care about.
yeah. Well, the good news for you is not as long as he did, I think. So
Well, I think first chance to get Shane is just like, well, we can have another kid. Yeet. Because that's what Carl deserves.
I don't know why you hated him so much.
I don't know. I just sort of picked someone
Nice.
because what I've annoyingly is it seemed to keep him alive because every character that I did like died.
That did happen a lot, didn't it? We would get attached to characters and then they would just drop off.
Yeah, not normally drop off. They normally get eaten. I think. No one dies from fall damage in The Walking Dead. Where? So with this,
Yeah.
the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Just Kingdom.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
like adding
Kingdom.
the.
That's
because-
but that's the Stephen Fry thing that you thought, oh shit, have I watched the right show?
To be fair, there are a lot of shows called The Kingdom
Yeah.
or Kingdom Hospital.
Or
Is Kingdom Hospital a real show?
Isn't there another
Yeah.
one? Norse Kingdom or something? The Last Kingdom.
Probably. Yeah, no, that is not very good.
Didn't we do that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I know it's not very good.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, you were going to make a point and I interrupted.
I found it hard to give a shit about the Crown Prince because he just seems like a whiny bitch. I was much more interested in the like little healery peasanty camp. You could arguably, I would say this could lose a lot of the royal stuff, and I'd like it more.
Well, I think that might be the way it goes, to be fair, because like I think I think there's a lot of people who are going to drop off.
Yeah,
And drop off in the way that Carl did, not full damage, but like, you know, they're going to get killed. What do you think of the idea of like taking real historical events, like based on that, and then just going, yeah, but instead of an actual virus outbreak, zombies?
I love an alternate history.
Yeah.
It is basically what Assassin's Creed's built on.
I did wonder how long it would be before Assassin's Creed got mentioned, and I'll be honest, I didn't think it would be in this one.
Well, no, that's the thing, because I think so. Of these two shows, I do prefer T'Other,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's just a familiarity bias with like the environment, because South Korea is not something I know a lot about.
Yeah. Particularly like historically, never mind like modern day.
Yeah, so I don't mind being given a new world, but I honestly didn't realise it was an alternate history thing because I don't know the actual history.
It was only once the zombies showed up, that's when you went, oh, alternate history.
Well, no, it's even I didn't because things can say they're like historic, but they're not. They don't have to be. So I also missed the bit where it said it was historic and true-ish. But no, I think I enjoyed it. I think I'd struggle to watch all of it though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because I don't. Because it's either it's just The Walking Dead with subtitles, really. It might be.
And
It might be
no
better
guns.
than that. I might be simplifying it somewhat. But I don't know, it's just I actively want most of the characters to die.
That isn't unusual for you, though.
No, yeah, the trouble is, I just sort of don't know where it's going, and I can't see.
Do you mean like you can't see any other ending than they just all die?
Yeah, although if it's an alternate history, they have to win, otherwise history stops, and that's bad.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. There has been previous attempts at alternate history stuff that changes things. Like, for instance, a man we were just talking about, Eli Roth, kills Hitler in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, but he had it coming.
I think that's possibly the best thing you could say about Hitler, is that he definitely had it coming.
Yeah, I just can't see. I don't know. I might watch some more of it and see where it starts to go, but I feel like also 12 episodes and a special. It's just so much to watch.
That's, you know what that is? That's the British sitcom model. 2 series and a special. There's so many British sitcoms that follow that rule of 2 runs of 6 and then a Christmas special.
Yeah. And then you come back every, decade and just do some more?
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't realise it was quite that few series. I might give this a bash. So, how long's the special, do you reckon? Do you reckon it's feature length?
I imagine so.
Oh dear. January 7th, 2021, a castle on the film set of Kingdom caught fire as a staff member attempted to melt the snow using a torch lamp.
Well, that sounds silly.
It's quite funny though. I think I'm in a similar camp to you. Like, I don't find myself particularly caring that much about the characters.
Well, because this isn't the first time you've watched it.
No. I think I've watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I do remember thinking because in number 2 there's a lot of people who disappear. Like, there's a big old chomp down, and there's a thinning of the herd in terms of characters. So I found it slightly easier to give a shit after episode 2 when a lot of the extraneous characters have disappeared.
Yeah, I also thought it might be going somewhere else where they, when your man just goes, well, that's a body, these people are hungry. I'm going to feed them some people. And then has that really sort of like, oh, I'm a survivor, like, big speech. And then it's just like, there was a bit of me that was just like, if they have tricked me so far that this is just a cannibal show, I'm in. And then they were affected by zombie flesh and became zombies. And I was like, oh. Fair enough. But I think I might be more interested if it was, I don't know, maybe more interested if it was something about the royal family trying to hide that the emperor's a big cannibal boy, but no one else knows.
Oh, that would be fun. But
then you've got a poor village that are ravenous cannibals, and then the king finds his people.
Oh, that could be good. I could see that working though. I really could see that working. That could be quite good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I find, I did find it very hard to be like, I'm really rooting for this rebel who wants his dad to die. Disinterested.
Well, I mean, in terms of like zombie action, there's some good fights, and there's some, like, they're running around with swords and lopping off zombies' heads and stuff, which that's quite fun. It's quite gory. That's a lot of fun. Yeah,
I think for a zombie transformation sequence, I did really enjoy it, where it was like, oh, they're off arguing about why you should or shouldn't eat people, while outside the proof of why you shouldn't eat people is coming to life. Literally. Well, coming back to life, I guess. But that was... yeah, no, that sequence I quite liked. But mostly because I was like, yeah, fucking kill them all, I don't care.
It's funny how there are shows like that, or stories like that, where you're just like, well, just kill them all, I don't mind.
Yeah. Weird. That was one of the things that I found with Game. Although you have characters you're like, I think you're quite cool, you're also a bit like, I sort of hope you die. Because I think Game of Thrones would have been maybe better if Jon Snow had stayed dead. Not better for Kit Harington's career, but
better as a story. Because then, well, but
if
then
it just turns out
you...
that all magic is horseshit apart from dragons.
I mean, I was going to say there's an argument for that, isn't there? But then there's the what's it called? The Red Lady, the Red Woman, whatever it is. She summons that weird spirit thing to attack. Is it Rob?
Oh no, it was Renly that spirit kills.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Little brother Baratheon.
God, it's been so long. It's been so long since I watched that. Yeah. I do like Kingdom. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I think it's maybe something that I could drop into, watch a couple of episodes, and just be like, cool, that's me done for another month.
Yeah.
And not really mind too much. But something that I will be watching more of. Viva la Révolution.
It'd be Vive la Révolution. This is the one where I thought you'd mention Assassin's Creed, because it did make me want to play Assassin's Creed Unity again.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's the thing. So this was a more familiar... Like, so it had the shorthand of, I sort of understand and know what happened in the French Revolution. I don't know if there were vampires or whatever the fuck they are.
So this is where I need to... This is where I obviously, like, we've only watched the first episode, and yeah, you're right, it was so fucking good. Really enjoyed this one. It was a really good shout, this episode. So there's a few things that, like, led me to think that, okay, I think this is where it's going to go. And it still stands for vampires for my first piece of evidence as to what the fuck is going on. Basically, there's this thing that in just at the start, just before the French Revolution, there's
loads of fucking vampires turned up.
I don't think they're vampires. This is the thing. So there's there's a virus, there's an illness that is spreading and seemingly is turning people into, well, just for now, we'll call them nondescript gribblies of some kind. It follows the man who would go on to invent the guillotine, which obviously famously made famous by the French Revolution.
Yeah.
So here's my piece of evidence for the jury. 1, the guillotine. What does it do? Cuts your head off. What do you kill by removing the head, destroying the brain?
Vampires.
Yes. Also,
werewolves.
Big old zombo boys.
Also, I think most things will die if you cut their head off.
Fair. Cockroaches, they can survive without head. Worms.
And that's why they're nature's monster.
But here's the real kicker, and this is why I think it's zombies again. The very, very final line of this episode is like it not quite literally translates as this, but the very final line is, when there's no more room in hell. It says something like the dead will reawake or something like the dead will return. That line, in its original text, the line is, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. That comes from George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. So I think they're big old zombie boys.
Yeah, it does seem it. But there's also a counter argument to your proposal of zombies.
Okay.
There is a man feeding the zombies in such a way that I would consider him maybe to be a thrall of a vampire feeding his daddy. I'm not really sure what thralls refer to their vampires as. I don't think it's daddy. But that was where I went down the vampire road.
Wait a minute, he's feeding them. Is this
not feeding? It's the
Oka.
Her uncle who throws.
Throws her down into the pit. Okay.
And also, just to touch,
I didn't.
Catacombs riddle France, and they are the best horror setting.
Oh yeah, we've watched that film together, haven't we? As Above, So Below.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, if you haven't seen that, go and watch that. It's an incredibly ambitious film for the budget they had. They decide to tell the story that they do. I was blown away, but I was like, fucking fair play to you for having a go at that, because that is massive that you've tried doing that with not a huge amount of money, and I think it does it really well. So, yeah.
Also, I'm slowly starting to realise that I don't think I hate the French. Because it turns out I quite like their TV and film.
Do you like their cheese and their wine? And their pastry goods?
No, I like their television. I like their moving pictures.
In fairness, a lot of the best things I've seen have been French TV or films.
I've just remembered about Marianne.
There is apparently there is a character in La Révolution who is called Marianne, and I'm just wondering, little crossover event.
Hell.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if they just stealth that in? And there's us like, oh shit, because that show was so important to us and to this podcast.
Or could you imagine if just every chance they get, they've just like got a gratuitous shot of a bed and just someone tickling the toes?
Oh, that was fucking good. Yeah, this is brilliant. La Révolution is fucking great. And I tell you what, Elise is an amazing character. She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't know, it sort of screams the, like, almost the Van Helsing vibes, where she's just like, I will fuck shit up and just get on with stuff. And I really enjoyed that, like, she's clearly set out to be the rich person who just kind of gets it. But she genuinely seems to actually just like get it. She's just like, open the granaries, it'll be fine. Build them some good houses. And they're just like, but how will we afford our brie? I don't know what French people like. I'm assuming it's brie.
I think brie is a French cheese, so yeah, that tracks.
Cultured. And wine. They love wine.
I'll tell you what I really admire about the French is the fact that they will not take any shit. Like, there was a thing, was it last year, where they proposed that the retirement age would increase, and they rioted. A proposal wasn't even going to happen. They just, look, we're just thinking about this. Right, let's go and tip over some cars. Fucking brilliant.
To be fair, they do protest properly. Yeah. Like, French farmers protesting is one of my favourite things. Not because, like, I mean, they're not going to get what they want, but because they just cover everything in shit.
But like when you know, it's arguably, apart from, you know, maybe the American Revolution, probably the most famous historical revolution that, you know, of what you might term as modern history. When that's built into part of your culture, then of course you're not going to take any shit.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I think the French Revolution is better than the American Revolution because we didn't lose
Americans. Because we didn't lose. Nice. We were just commenting on the artwork for the show as well. It's an incredible image. Is it Elise or is it Madeleine?
I don't know.
Do we know?
And I don't mind. Because that's the thing. I just would like that as a bit of art to have.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a really nice looking show. Like it's the rich and the poor sections. While it was something that I weirdly didn't really gel with in Kingdom,
Yeah.
In this, I'm just like, yes, I absolutely need to see both parts of this because, or at least it's almost two characters, I guess. Because she's who she has to be Countess Elise, and who she wants to be, which is not poor but nice. Where she goes down and she pays for like a rebel's funeral.
Yeah.
And how they're like, oh, your uncle says no, and she's just like,
don't give a shit.
Yes.
What do you think of the character of Oka, and what do you think is the weird spell that he does? What do you think that's all about? He does that weird sort of ritual where he grabs someone and he starts chanting.
That's the thing. What that reminded me of was, do you remember many, many, many years ago when we watched Taboo? The Tom Hardy thing.
Yeah. Taboo is the one that I think I kept falling asleep while I was watching it.
I think it did take you 3 attempts to watch the pilot. But it reminded me of that. So I think, and that was, I can't remember if it was...
Is that roughly similar time for it? Might not be. No, not quite, because I think Taboo is 19th century, isn't it? This is 18th
Yeah,
century.
Taboo's like Victorian times.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to remember what it... but I can't remember... But it was that sort of like... I don't want to say voodoo, because that feels very like... It's a...
You're just sweeping generalisation.
Yeah. But that sort of vibe of magic... Because magic's all not real. But like that sort of... feel of magic is what I think it was, but I don't know. But it must have. I wonder if it's given. I can't even remember what his name is. Doctor Boy, Joseph.
Joseph Guillotine.
I wonder if it's given him some like visions or just an idea of what's to come, or just a suggestion to start cutting people up. I mean, dead people. But because he almost immediately goes to check the autopsy, or he could have just shown some memories of like him not killing her.
Yeah.
But I think it's really interesting. I think more interesting because they spattered in a few characters and they go, here's the main ones, here's why you care. And because I think up until you find out about Elise and Joseph's connection, I almost was like, are they trying to tell us two different stories but keep them apart? And then it turns out that their lives have been intertwined for a long time.
Yeah.
And that was a weirdly humanising moment for her character, who'd already humanised herself by being like, oh, well, here's, do the funeral. But to then also just be like, no, I don't really care for society. It's quite interesting. And weirdly, one of the characters that intrigues me the most is, I don't actually think if they give him a name, but he's the Baron, who is also at the pies, is clearly looking for love, but also doesn't seem like a cunt.
Yeah. What you think? It's because he's part of the aristocracy. Do you think he's going to be...
I find him an interesting character because he's either going to become a rebel or he's going to die. And that's, I guess, there's a weird bit of like, because we sort of know where the story's heading.
Yeah.
It's heading towards a beheading. And it's quite nice that you see all of the like smug, posh, cunty characters, and you're like, I'd stop that if I were you.
You're gonna get your head lopped off.
And there's just a little bit, and I'm interested to see how, because there must be time jumps, because I don't think they can get from everyone's a bit angry to come over here on the block. Because I don't actually know how quick the French Revolution was, but I'm assuming it wasn't a couple of days. Because I had to write all the songs.
I mean, I imagine that there's probably going to be... I think this might like rewrite history in that the reason he invents the guillotine is so that they can kill off all the zombies. And then they're just like, you see that king? Just
while we're
grab him."
here... And there's the interesting like little plot where they're trying to frame Oka for the murder. But it seems like Oka was complicit in being framed for the murder, but then sort of didn't want to die. Understandable motivation as it is, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, I know what you mean on that one.
It's confusing in the good way, where you're like, why? And that's what keeps me. I think that's the thing. Kingdom didn't leave me with any questions that I wanted answering.
Okay,
whereas La Révolution was like,
where does this go?
Here's some plot starts, and you can either guess or we could show you. And I'm like, show me.
Yeah, I really liked. I think I'm with you actually. That I think I preferred La Révolution, and
which is weird because
definitely watch more.
I didn't expect to prefer it, and I'm not sure why. I think it might have been the thing where I'm like, ugh, the French again. But then I keep
weird thing. I'll just because of who's in it.
Yeah, well, I think also I don't know. I felt like going in, I might have understood too much about the time period and was like, oh well, it's just going to be this, and then they went, but these, and I'm like, oh, give me zombies or vampires. I think it's vampires. Watch us both be wrong. It's fucking werewolves.
I mean, I'm all for more werewolves in shows that are actually half decent, because pretty much all the werewolf shows we've watched have been rubbish.
Yeah, I think werewolves are a hard thing to do in a TV show, because either you have to have every episode be a month, or there's some other flavour of werewolf that doesn't follow the cycle of the moon.
That's it, yeah. I don't think it's even hard to do just as a TV show. I think they're just hard to do full stop. Because there's really, when you think about it, there's really not that many good werewolf things, like IPs. There's not a huge number.
You've seen Being Human, haven't you?
Some of it, yeah.
Being Human did werewolves quite well.
Yeah?
Because it showed how, as of the three inconveniences that they have, being a werewolf, not the worst. But yeah, I think TV shows that leave me with questions, it turns out, is something that I enjoy. Yeah.
Definitely. A couple of good ones here. I think you're right. I think Kingdom probably just beaten by La Révolution, which is a lot of fun. I do really like it. But if you want slashy zombie goodness, Kingdom's pretty good for that.
Yeah, but we have a higher calling and cannot be sucked in by just hack and slash. It has to have substance.
Yeah, not anymore. Maybe when I was 13, but not now. I mean, speaking of gore, there's definitely going to be some next week. We've got Fall of the House of Usher, which is Mike Flanagan's latest thing.
Genuinely, all I know about that is that Mark Hamill's in it.
Okay.
That's all I know.
All right. Okay, fair enough. I won't.
And I'm assuming that a house falls down.
Well, I'm not gonna add anything to your speculation at this point.
That's the thing. I know it's not going to be an actual house that falls down. I know it's going to be the house of Usher is going to be like a family, and they're going to fall. But I like in my head the idea of this whole thing just leads up to a house falling down, and that's it. That's just the end of it. It's just go, well, that house fell down.
Yeah, and there's a bystander who just walks past and goes, wow, that really was the fall of the House of Usher. Black. Credits.
Yeah, arguably, this is why we don't write TV pilots.
Yeah, so Fall of the House of Usher and Interview with the Vampire, which I'm intrigued as to that one because I've seen the film, I haven't read the books.
I've read the book, not seen the film.
See, the film's an odd one because, I mean, it just... Tom Cruise as a vampire just doesn't... I don't know. It's like, I did enjoy it, but again, that's around French Revolution. At least there is a section where it's... Quite a lot of it is around the French Revolution, actually, in the book. So it'd be interesting to see where they go with the TV show. But yeah.
Yeah. I'd sort of be interested if they made it a bit more contemporary.
I think they have done. I've seen like a couple of promotional images and maybe a trailer a while ago. I think it is a bit more contemporary, but I guess we'll find out
Next week on Co-Pilots Podcast.
next week when it's August, when it's nearly September.
Yeah. Oh, can you? It's been such a hot summer.
Oh yeah, and hey, how about that house move you did or didn't do?
How about that kid you did or didn't have?
Oh God.
I'm gonna cut that out if it goes wrong.
That's what the doctor said.